but I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Well, coming up next on Talk Today, we hear about the Cayman Islands Computer Society, Science Society, and Enterprise City, and all about the hackathon competition. And the Department of Children and Family Services will tell us about Child Week, and Health Services Authority is here to tell us about EMS Week. All that coming up on Talk Today. Next, stay with me.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Charles Glidden. And in our first segment this afternoon, we hear about a competition that took place recently called a hackathon. And that's hosted by the Cayman Islands Computer Society. Joining me in the studio right now is Ali Fahmoy, CTO of Cayman Enterprise and Director of Enterprise Cayman. And maybe we might hear from the winner a little later on, so hopefully that will happen. Ali, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, hackathon, that's not as bad as it sounds.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Why that name?
So way back when computers were a new thing, there were competitions around how to break into them and how to make them do things other than what they were intended to do. So the word hackathon came about. But these days it's more along the lines of any kind of competition around computer science, around coding, around programming, but a very tight time frame to get a project done. So folks have to be really fast at what they do.
Well, what's the relationship between Enterprise City and the Cayman Islands Computer Society?
The Enterprise Cayman was set up as a nonprofit by Cayman Enterprise City to enable us to reach out into the local community to impact entrepreneurship. We have a lot of tech companies at Cayman Enterprise City. And so what our nonprofit enables us to do is to connect them with talent in the local community, connect them with local entrepreneurs who could benefit from what these folks are building and working on at Cayman Enterprise City. And so the societies that we have a number of societies, help us to focus on those areas. So we have a virtual asset society, we have a computer science society, and a number of others that you can research when you have time on our website.
Now, who was allowed to participate in this competition?
Oh, anyone. It was open to anyone. Obviously, the focus was on young Caymanian programmers, but we had quite a diverse group of folks participate in this particular hackathon. We had one. The last one we had scheduled was either just before or just after COVID. So we're getting started again with this type of competition.
Oh, so this is sort of a renewal.
Yes, a rebirth. If
a
you will.
rebirth.
Yeah.
So what was the assignment for this competition?
So the challenge that we gave to participants was we have a number of charitable organizations in Cayman, and we gave them a list. And the challenge was to develop an application, either a standalone app that would run on a phone or a web-based app that could help a charitable organization in executing its mission. We gave them a number of examples, and what we got was very interesting from 5 different teams.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you got?
Sure. So one was looking at, actually 2 of them were looking at educating the community on autism. Surprisingly, out of 5, 2 of them were focusing on autism. And they were really good in terms of just raising awareness, especially with young kids in schools, to be able to raise awareness of what autism is and the challenges it brings. Another was basically being able to make a reservation and make a donation to a charity to schedule volunteers and to make a particular offer of skill sets and whatnot to the charitable organization, and that's the one that won. Actually, it was pretty impressive what these folks were able to do in just 5 hours. 5 hours.
Now, when they complete that in that 5 hours, this is a functioning app, or is this like
Well, it was graded as such. So the degree of functionality, the degree of completeness was part of their score. For it, and the winning app was highly functional, very capable.
Now, are a lot of young Caymanians picking this thing up and trying to get into it?
There are quite a few Caymanians and young folks who are engaged in coding, and various aspects of programming. There's another group that we have that focuses extremely narrowly on coding and programming. There's a lot of intense interest in coding. One of the participants in the hackathon is actually an auditor with one of the local Big 4 firms, but he just has a desire to code, and so he did a pretty good job.
It's I don't know if you call it special, or I'll use that word, a special mind that can get into that.
Because it's not like English. It's not like reading a book.
It's not 1 + 1 either.
No.
Even though
it's a different language, and there are multiple languages. So there are new languages now, like Python and others, and folks are really into it. And it's really encouraging, actually, to see young folks engage to this degree in that part of technology.
Now, you have another activity called the Cyber Sandbox. What is that about?
So that's a regular meeting of folks who are interested in all things tech. So the Cyber Sandbox might be a workshop. It might be a talk on cybersecurity. It might be a talk on how to deploy the latest version of Linux in your organization. It could be any kind of discussion around tech.
So is this just within the society that people would participate in this?
If you go to our website, anybody can sign up to attend. You can get on our mailing list for future events, competitions, and meetings, and so forth. So no, it's not restricted at all.
How important do you think it is for young people to be involved in some kind of facet of computer science?
What's important is for us to create pathways for the kids who are interested in tech, for them to engage. All too often, when I was going to school, if you weren't a lawyer or an accountant, you didn't have much of a career path. And all too often, the kids who are interested in tech. I tell the story all the time of coming home after being out for a charitable event, coming home on Christmas Day, bringing the kids home downstairs, and they were only 2 years old at the time, my twins. One ran straight to the Christmas tree, and one wanted to know what this thing Dad had up by his eye with the red light on was about. So I knew which one was interested in tech at 2. If we don't create pathways and opportunities for those kids from a very early age, then when is it that they discover their knack for this, their desire for that? So our part of our mission is to actually expand the opportunities to engage with technology and show folks, even if you're already in the workforce and you want to change your career path, or you found yourself in IT and you want to get a certification, because in the technology realm, sometimes a certification is more important than a degree.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily going to school for 4 or 5 years to do it.
What I've heard often from the tech clients in Cayman Enterprise City is, I graduated with my computer science degree, and prospective employers looked at me and said, okay, what can you do? We know you can write an essay and hand in a report on time, but what can you do?
Yeah.
So having certifications is very key. So we have a Cisco Networking Academy where you can get Cisco certifications through us. We've partnered with UCCI, and we can talk about that in a second.
Okay. Our kids in high school, are they being identified in the schools, do you think? And like you say, put on that path?
Maybe not as aggressively and as widely as I think it should be done. And we would be happy to engage with any school on how to identify which kids are interested in this and what the pathways are to get them to suss out whether or not they really are interested, or they just want to play video games, or if there's a real interest in what aspect of technology, networking, programming, graphic design, what aspect.
Do you need volunteers and other sponsors to get involved in
Always welcome, absolutely. A number of our clients in the zone volunteer their time and expertise, but we welcome input and volunteers from wherever we can get it.
So, I mean, what kind of people would you want coming in there, though?
Preferably folks who have some technical background, so that they could assist if we're doing a workshop and setting up technology or helping answer questions and that sort of thing. But we're not going to turn anyone away.
And of course, sponsors to help, like with the competitions and that sort of thing.
Right. We have a number of sponsors right now, but we would always welcome others.
How much was that prize, by the way, for this hackathon?
I think it was $2,000.
Okay, that's not bad for 5 hours.
Not bad.
All right, I think it's time for a break here. So we're going to be continuing with our conversation, but right now, let's take a break.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Cayman Art Week is back from Tuesday the 20th to Sunday the 25th of May. It's a fun-filled program of art events, pop-up exhibitions, open studios, and late opening hours at galleries and venues across all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit at your own pace or join one of our district bus tours with a new route added this year in Cayman Brac. All events are free and open to the public with art on sale for every budget. For all the latest, visit CaymanArtWeek.com.
Attention all residents of East End and surrounding areas. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman PACE Committee invites you to their health educational evening on Wednesday, May 21st at the East End United Church starting at 6:30 p.m. Guest speakers are Dr. David and Dr. Mobeen from Grand Harbor Medical, who will be discussing colon and prostate cancer diagnosis, treatment and prevention, and Dr. Sidney Ebanks, who will speak about hypertension and diabetes. Men, come on out and get your PSA test done for free. Remember, early detection saves lives. Refreshments will be served.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And in the studio with me is Ali Fahmoy. He is talking to me about getting young people in Cayman on the path to computer science, and that's quite a field to get into. If you want to join us into the conversation, you can give us a ring. You can call us on 1-800-534-8255. That's a free call, compliments of Flow. You can also call on 949-6990, and if you prefer WhatsApp, that number is 925-3261. Now, you had mentioned earlier that you were doing some teaming up with UCCI. What's happening there?
UCCI is also obviously interested in promoting education among young folks, and we agreed early on in the pursuit of opening these pathways up for young Caymanians to tech, that we would try to work either together or at least in support of each other and not try to compete. And that has worked really well. So well, in fact, that when we set up our Cisco Networking Academy, UCCI suggested creating a program that embraced that, and they would bring another course along with it. And together we created something called a Digital Skills Certificate. So it consists of about 8 classes through Cisco Networking Academy, and a class taught by UCCI on the introduction to AI, artificial intelligence. When you complete the course, you not only get your series of Cisco certificates, but you also get UCCI college credits that you can then apply to any other program at the university. So it's really a great program, and we hope to continue to develop it with them going forward.
So with this certification, you can go in to a company and take care of its networks and so forth?
So this is an introductory level set of classes through the Cisco courses. So it's an introduction to networking, introduction to computing. So it's not the CCNA, the Cisco Certified Network Administrator, for example. That would come much later on. So through the Cisco Networking Academy, there's a number of levels of classes that you can take. This is an introductory set of classes that UCCI has bolted on some additional classes to add more value to it.
Now, we were talking earlier about the coding and that being a very specialized field. Someone that's certified is not necessarily of that kind of work, right?
Right.
So this is more in practical stuff?
So the Cisco certificates focus on networking, computing in general, but networking in particular. That's where Cisco, the company, made their name and their global brand. and a leader in networking equipment. If you wanted to focus on coding, there's a separate set of classes and a whole line of introductory courses that you can take on different types of coding and different types of programming.
And that's quite a lucrative field to go into.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the tech companies in the world are the largest now in the world. We have trillion-dollar companies now in the tech space.
But I mean, when you look around, like just the financial industry alone, and a lot of other people who aren't necessarily connected to the financial industry, they all need some kind of computer IT person. I mean, if you must be like gold if you are certified.
Absolutely. Yeah. Technology is a part of not only everyday life, but also a part of every single business, no matter how big or small that business is. So the need and the desire for folks to be in that space is worldwide, is very, very significant.
Tell us a little bit about Cayman Enterprise and what goes on there.
So Cayman Enterprise City is the only special economic zone in the Cayman Islands, and the focus is on several different areas such as maritime, aviation, technology. But the vast majority of our clients, over 400 now clients, are in the technology space. So we have 3 major buildings that we're in. We just built our newest building on the new campus, and it's almost full. We've been in just a year now. So we're looking at building 2 on our campus, which will be larger, 5 stories. So we are growing significantly, but mostly in the tech space.
So where is the campus?
Behind Fairbanks, off of Fairbanks Road. Mm-hmm.
So what is the advantage of these people, these companies rather, coming and being a part of Cayman Enterprise City?
So there are special economic zones all over the world. Just about every major country has multiple SEZs, and they're set up for very specific purposes, whether it's to refine oil, such as the number of SEZs on the Gulf Coast there that the Americans have, whether it's to attract very specific types of investments, such as Dubai has. Dubai actually has about 30 or 40 special economic zones with a focus on technology or medicine or on media. So CNN has an office in the special economic zone in Dubai. Many countries have them, and they're set up for a very specific purpose to attract inward investment into that country, create jobs, and grow the economy.
So is there something that they don't compete with companies in the larger society?
Correct. Most special economic zones are set up that way so that you can do business within the zone, but you cannot compete with local entities. So what happens is the companies that are in the zone tend to focus on doing business internationally.
And they get, I guess, special consideration as far as work permits and that
right.
sort of thing?
So in Cayman, it's a fast track of licensing and of work permits. So you get everything in 6 to 8 weeks, and it's set out in policy and regulations as to how it actually works. There's a separate board that reports to a government department who does the evaluations and makes sure that the applicants are all checked and their backgrounds checked and credit checked and so forth.
Now, in reading the background on this, I saw a comment by, I think it was Bayo, what's his last name? Bayo, okay. He said something along the lines that Cayman had the potential for being the Silicon Valley of the Caribbean. That's a pretty heavy statement. You agree with that?
I do. Silicon Valley from the perspective of intellectual capital, not necessarily manufacturing, right? Mm-hmm. So to a degree, we're already in that space. If you look at Cayman's output, our GDP, our unemployment figures, the strength of our economy is unmatched across not just the region, but the hemisphere, okay? So how we leverage that strength, our economic stability, our political stability. We just had an election and a change of government that went smoothly. Those are assets that we should capitalize on and provide the world with something that is not common.
Yeah, I guess everyone's looking, if they're going to move into someplace, that they want stability and they're going to be safe.
That's right. We've had clients who've just joined us who have come from other similar zones in other countries. And one of the reasons why they're coming to Cayman, even though we're a lot more expensive than where they're coming from, is the safety. The crime rate in those countries was scaring their employees. They've come to Cayman because it's safe and secure.
And are they encouraged to take on Caymanian staff?
Oh, absolutely. And part of the reason why we have such a strong focus on developing talent within the Cayman community is because our clients over in Cayman Enterprise City have said to us, I would rather hire local than paying an engineer to relocate his entire family from the Netherlands or Canada to Cayman. It's just more cost effective to hire local talent.
Mm-hmm. I mean, where do you see this all going?
I think we're going to continue to
grow. Get out your crystal ball for me.
Absolutely. For free. I think we're going to continue growing. I think as long as we continue to have good decisions by the folks in power, we will continue to grow. And the relationship, I think, that Cayman has with other countries around the world additional value will be uncovered with those relationships, as we see from the drastic changes that are happening with global trade right now. Cayman has even more to offer the world as these things change and sometimes change not for the better.
Before we forget it, you wanted to give out a website address.
Absolutely.
To learn more about Enterprise Cayman.
Yes. So our nonprofit, which is focused on the community, on entrepreneurship, and on training local residents on technology, is enterprisecayman.ky.
So give us some of the information that people can find on there.
You can learn more about our competitions and our workshops, our Cyber Sandbox workshops that we hold just about every month, where we have technical discussions on a wide range of subjects and topics. And more importantly, being able to meet other folks who are in the space and network and discover opportunities that you perhaps didn't know existed.
So is a good place to exchange ideas.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to continue our discussion, but right now, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The 24th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 29th at the Hawkville Theatre. Awesome performances by actress Caitlin Tyson, Erica Asai, Rico Rolando, Jade Dixon, Williams Quartet, Dequan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Cayman Music School, Radiance Dance Studio, Centerpoint Dance Studio, John Gray Elite Strings, Lloyd Barker, Ola Jimmy Lapierre, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid and $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winners Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. June 29th at the Hawkville Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Foundation Educational Development Training Program of the Arts.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're talking here about the growth of computer science in the Cayman Islands. Now, you have a few events coming up that people can take part in.
Yes, actually tomorrow, Wednesday the 21st, we have two workshops, one focusing on Linux distribution and how to make sure that's done in a secure manner. Linux is an operating system that's very popular with businesses and computer science folks.
Probably only computer people have even heard that word.
Maybe. But we also have something called Launch Lab Studios. This is where we work with entrepreneurs on various aspects of running your business. This particular workshop is going to focus on building a website, marketing emails, tracking sales, and communicating with potential clients and with existing clients. We encourage folks to register for those sessions and come see us tomorrow.
Yeah. How do they register? Just go to the website? Or?
Website, enterprisecayman.ky, and register to attend one or both.
Okay. Now, you were told me during the break that it's best to get in there and register because there's not a lot of seats available.
Yes, we don't have unlimited seating. In our auditorium, we can accommodate about 50. In one of our other labs, we can accommodate 20, 25 folks. So, and some of our sessions are very popular.
But that should be very valuable for small businesses.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like everybody has to have a website now.
Right.
If you don't have a website, you don't have any kind of...
It's almost like you don't exist if you don't have a website.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
But is it possible for people to do it themselves? I mean, I know you got Wix and these GoDaddy kind of things.
Yeah, there are some tools out there that enable you to pick a template and some existing artwork and so forth and set something up yourself. But of course, if you wanted to do something more than just have brochures on the web, you do need some extra tools.
So probably best to at least get some sort of expert advice.
Yes.
Especially if you want to sell on it.
Right. And security, as we were talking about during the break, is of particular concern.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity. So making sure you've got an expert is a way to make sure that not only it works properly, but that the data that you're collecting or the data you have there is secure.
So some of those template ones don't offer as robust a security as...
They'll only go so far. It's limited in terms of how complicated and how much features that they'll have. But again, you want someone who can make sure that you're addressing your cybersecurity. The other thing, of course, is that in Cayman we have the data protection law, which requires you to make sure that the privacy of your client information is protected. So that's another concern.
So someone breaking in if it was easy for them to get to it, you could be liable somewhere?
Not necessarily the way the current legislation is set up, no. But you do have a responsibility as a business in Cayman to protect the privacy of client data. So you need to take steps to make that a reality. If it was shown that you simply were cavalier about it, you might be liable.
Well, let's go back to the Cyber Sandbox, and who should be trying to get involved in this?
Anyone. Age doesn't matter. Anyone who has an interest in this or has something to offer in terms of technology, whatever that technology is, whether it's programming, websites, cybersecurity, a particular type of language, we can create a workshop, what we call a tech talk, for you to deliver that content to a very interested audience. We've had events that were over 50 folks showed up in our auditorium, and we had to spill over into adjacent rooms.
Have you ever thought about having a workshop for not necessarily tech people, but people who look at computers and says, "Oh God, that's really not. I don't understand it." I know people that like, "Hey, don't put anything on the computer. Don't send me an email. Just give me a call, will you?" Have you ever thought about a workshop for those types of people?
That might be a good idea, actually. Yeah, you want to help us put that together?
But I mean, it's amazing. I know older people, like what's happening with the banks in the last couple of years. I mean, they do their best to discourage you from coming in. They want you to do everything online, and some people have a hard time coping with that.
And it's not secure anymore, as we were talking about. We're all getting this spam and these phishing attempts, pretending to be Flo, pretending to be your bank, pretending to be your finance director, and asking you for information so they can compromise you or your account or your company. It's not safe out there anymore.
Well, knowing you and knowing your background, I know that I've seen advice from you saying, look for these telltale signs that something is wrong here. Tell us a little bit about that.
So when you get an email that says that it's from your phone company or your bank and your account has been frozen and you need to click here, number one, never click on anything like that that's sent to you. Don't click. You can call that service provider and check to make sure that it's real or confirm that the issue is real. You can also look at the original address that it's coming from. So it might show up as being from Flo or whatever, but if you look at the actual address behind it, you might see that it's not. The address that they want you to click on may not be Flo. It might be some long address that's going some other part of the world. That's another indicator that something's not right. But generally speaking, don't click on anything.
What happens if you click?
So it depends on the type of attack that's being set up, but typically you get to a page that looks like it's your bank, looks like it's your phone company or what have you, and you're asked to enter your account details. And they want to confirm payment, so they want your bank details, or they want you to pay a bill that before you get disconnected. So they want your credit card information. Basically, they're trying to scam you with that information so that they can then steal everything from you.
Yeah. The one I keep getting is that my Flo email account has been closed. And I need to contact them to rectify this. I know that one's been going around. I guess it works, or you wouldn't keep seeing it, right?
Right, it does. And some of the audience that you identified tend to be these days a lot of the target for that. It's not just Cayman; it's all over the region and all over the world. But these scammers they're getting, unfortunately, better and better at what they do.
All right, so let's go back and let people know how they can get involved with helping out with these competitions and so forth.
So the website, if you go to the website, you can register for an event that's coming up, but there's also contact information there if you want to reach out to us. You can send us an email and either offer your services or ask a question, and we'll be happy to get back to you. Again, it's enterprisecayman.ky.
All right. And so, and I guess there's various ways of helping out in this. You don't
Absolutely.
necessarily have to be a computer whiz, do you?
Correct. No, you don't have to. If you just want to engage with the Computer Science Society to either learn more or to network with folks, you can. If you, whatever your interest is, we can make sure that there's a place where we can either use you or help you.
Okay. And what would your word of advice be to young people who may have some interest in this field?
Engage with us, engage with someone, ask questions, keep an open mind, and yes, reach out, and we will definitely link you with the right sort of resources to tell you more about whatever it is that you're interested in, whether it's programming or databases or graphic design or whatever your interest is. We can connect you with the right people.
So a young person could join the Computer Society?
Absolutely.
And there, through those contacts, they could see what path maybe they want to take?
Absolutely. Find out what piques their interest, and we can help them, guide them accordingly.
And it doesn't matter how young they are?
Legally, we have to say 18 plus.
Ah, okay.
But we'll figure out a way to work with anyone.
Okay.
Even you.
Are you actively in the schools?
No, not at this time. We're working primarily with UCCI right now, but we are working with the Ministry and Department of Education to explore ways that we can more widely engage with schools.
Okay. So let's get that website again. Just make sure everybody's got it.
enterprisecayman.ky.
Well, Ali, it's been great to have you on here. We were hoping to have the winner. The winner was what was her name again? That
it was.
I think just to let people know. I think yes. Let me look back here. I think it's Saliha.
Saliha, yes.
Afreen. Okay. So
congrats to her. She did an excellent job with the product that she did at the hackathon. Excuse me.
Right. And her app did what again? I think I guess we need some water for Ali here. But all right.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, we're going to be going to the break soon. Just let me give you a number here that if you want to join us on the other side of the news, 1-800-534-8255. That number is compliments of Flow. And if you want to go the WhatsApp route, 925-3261, you can give us a call or send us a message. Ali, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon.
You too.
We're coming up on news time, so let's see what's happening around Cayman and the world.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Good afternoon with a look at your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks. Closing arguments are set to take place today in the trial of senior prison officer Darren Watson, who denies charges related to smuggling drugs into the HMP Northwood facility. Watson admits to bringing the drugs in, but states he was coerced under threat by a man with a gun who confronted him at his home in Bordentown. He claims the individual possessed private details about him and his family, making the threat credible. The jury of 7 has heard testimony, including from a witness who stated that they saw Watson under duress and confirmed seeing an armed man in his yard. The trial continues today and could reach a verdict before the end of the week. In regional news, Antigua authorities have identified the body of a man floating in the Maramba Bay 3 days ago as a 40-year-old Louisian national who was scheduled to leave the island on the 9th of May. Police have withheld the man's name pending notification of his family. An investigation has been launched and post-mortem examinations are set to determine the exact cause of death. Officials urge anyone with relevant information to come forward. Anonymous tips can be provided to the Crime Stoppers hotline, with assurances that all information will remain confidential. Nurses across Jamaica protested on Monday, demanding an end to violence against women and children following an attack on a nurse during a road rage incident last week. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton condemned the attack, stressing the need for respect and promotion for healthcare workers. The police has confirmed that a man is assisting with the investigation. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or build a fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
In 1968, the government of the Cayman Islands purchased a controlling interest in Cayman Brac Airways from Alaska and then formed Cayman Airways. The first aircraft type to be operated by Cayman Airways into Cayman Brac was the Douglas DC-3, which in 1972 was being used on flights to both Grand Cayman and Little Cayman. By 1985, Cayman Airways was serving Cayman Brac with Boeing 727-200 jetliners with non-stop flights to Miami 3 times a week, as well as operating 727 and propeller aircraft service to Grand Cayman. Other jetliner types previously operated by Cayman Airways over the years into Cayman Brac included the Boeing 737-200, Boeing 737-300, and Boeing 737-400.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. May is Child Month, and in this segment we learn about workshops and other events conducted by the Department of Children and Family Services. Here to tell us about those activities for Child Month are Lois Kellyman, Social Work Manager, and Sylvia Wilkes of Cayman Islands Youth Development Consortium. Ladies, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
So
Good afternoon.
This is an annual event, right?
Yes, it is. It is.
What are some of the objectives of Child Month as far as the Cayman scene is concerned?
So really, during Child Month, what we like to do is to just sort of highlight our children, highlight the good work that they've been doing, and just help to bring awareness to adults as to some of the issues maybe that some children have been going through, how we can continue to develop and support them throughout whatever is happening. And each year we have a different theme. So this year our theme is Grow Through What You Go Through. We also, and that really just highlights the powerful idea that our challenges and difficulties are not obstacles to avoid, but rather opportunities for personal development and growth. And it encourages the mindset that life's hardships, whether big or small, can serve as stepping stones to greater strength, resilience, and wisdom.
So this is along the lines of learning from your hardship or from your mistakes.
Correct. Learning from your hardships, learning from your mistakes, whatever challenges that come the way. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. We can learn, we can grow through them, but along the way we need people to support us. All right. So as we all know, we all have had challenges. And some of them, yes, we have been able to overcome on our own. But a lot of times we do need people to walk with us, to support us through these challenges. And so we're just appealing to everyone to help each other. We talk about the village that raises the child. Right. And so we continue to expound on that as we go through Child Month this year.
Ms. Wilkes, what is the importance of this month from your perspective?
Well, I'm going to piggyback from what Ms. Kellyman said in terms of village raising the child, and where Cayman Islands Youth Development Consortium comes in as a partner with the Department of Children and Family Services is to highlight the developmental assets that help our young people to succeed. Not only does it do that, it also has the potential to buffer young people if they've experienced trauma or challenges, help them to become resilient. So as they grow through what they go through, having more of the developmental assets like support, like which Ms. Kellyman mentioned, support of family, support of organizations, support of the community, as well as what they're responsible for as they get older, being committed to learning positive values, social competencies. All those things help our young people to succeed, but it also helps them to be resilient. So the whole idea of growing through what we go through is actually being able to bounce back, being able to be resilient. And the more we encourage our young people to get involved in these various activities and these various organizations, the more likely they are to overcome some of the traumas that they may experience.
Now, I know the Cayman that we probably all grew up in had that village feeling. And the neighbor down the street took care of you just as well as your own family and your home. 2025, a lot of that has kind of disappeared.
Right.
How are children faring in the modern Cayman as far as going through different situations that they find challenging?
You're quite correct. Things are different now. And so we don't quite have the village that used to raise the child anymore. But we're hoping that what we can do is continue to bring awareness and bring awareness to the importance of us all supporting each other and supporting our children. Children have a lot more to deal with these days. We know that there's a social media that brings all sorts of things to their doorstep, to their faces, and that alone brings a lot of challenges. We do also have a lot of other opportunities for them to get involved in different areas of life, in different, I suppose, different hobbies, different interests. But sometimes we aren't always aware of what is out there. So we have a lot of youth groups. Miss Wilkes is talking about her consortium. There's Scouts, which we had long ago, that still exists. There's Girl Guides, there are Girls Brigades. A lot of these service clubs have youth arms where children can really get involved and young people can really get involved and do different things. I heard you just had a guest on that was talking about a club, a computer club?
Yeah, Computer Society.
Computer Society. So there are all sorts of different things that are there, but sometimes we just don't know that they're there. So again, it's for us as adults who work with these clubs to try and bring that awareness so that the parents can understand that there are things out there that the children can do. There are after-school clubs. A lot of schools have after-school clubs, and a lot of children are involved in them. But as we continue to just kind of corral all that information where it can be readily available so that people can know how to get involved.
Well, tell us some more about the consortium that you have.
Right. This is a good time to do that because we're promoting all the assets that help our young people to succeed, right? No one entity, no one person can accomplish all 40. There's 20 external and there's 20 internal. So what we've done, and the last event of Child Month, we're so fortunate to have, we actually shifted our Celebrate Our Youth Day from January, when we do Support Our Youth Month, to host Celebrate Our Youth Day on the 31st of May. And that will be at Signal House from about 11:30. It brings together different organizations so that persons can see organizations for the specific assets. So, for example, one-to-one is a mentoring program. Other adult relationships is an asset. You have youth programs like Cadet Corps, YMCA, all of those different organizations. So the Celebrate Our Youth Day focuses on all of these different organizations so parents can come and get to know some of the coordinators of these entities. Also, people from the community can also come and sign up to volunteer, or if persons want to help fund these organizations, they can do that. But the most important thing is, because now we've completed an election, what we do every 4 years is get our elected officials to sign a proclamation that was initially done in 2010 to acknowledge January as Support Our Youth Month. So what we try to do is to get these individuals to endorse the developmental assets and get other people in the community to do the same thing. Having the community crime prevention workshops, which starts tonight in West Bay, and so we're doing it in each district or targeting each district, is to highlight these assets again, highlight that these things can help our children to be resilient. So there, as Ms. Kellyman made mention of, there's different things that our children are going to experience. But if you're a parent and you want to know what you can do to help your child that may experience trauma or not, these are the things that they can learn. So even the more assets a young person has, the less likely they are to gravitate towards drugs, violence, delinquency, and the more likely they are to succeed. And if you look at the young people across our communities, it's usually the ones who are engaged in church activities, service clubs, and after-school programs that tend to do very well, because they're building their skills and they are engaged in programs that help them to bounce back.
There's and also some kind of support group there, right?
Exactly.
Now, you said a workshop. You're conducting the workshop?
I am conducting the workshops.
So it begins tonight in West Bay?
In West Bay.
What are you going to be covering?
Okay, so we're covering the developmental assets. We're covering all of the different things that help our young people to succeed in a way that people can understand the assets itself and what part they play. So you can become an asset builder. That is a person who champions the assets. So, for example, if you're a parent and you come, you realize, oh, I need to get my child involved in various activities because I realize that my child has very little assets based on the list. If you're a law enforcement officer, especially if you're working in a community, the list help you to identify some of the things that you can help a young person or even a family that they may work with on getting their young people involved in various activities based on the assets. So we're going to be showing some videos that were done in the U.S. showing some troubled youth and how the assets can help as relates to steering them from problem behaviors. So I keep it interactive for those who attend. So tonight is at the West Bay Church of Christ. I will start at 7 o'clock. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. You mentioned another location when you were talking Signal House.
That is the last event, Celebrate Our Youth Day. That's at Signal House. Enterprise Cayman is the sponsor of that, as well as Pure Air.
Where is that?
That is Fairbanks Road.
Okay. On their campus?
Yes.
Okay.
They're a beautiful building. It's a nice setting. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
So you're going to be over in the BRAC also, doing some events over there?
Yes, so we have, DCFS has an office in the BRAC, and the office there, who caters to the sister islands, both Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, also have a number of events that they're doing for Child Month. So they're events that I guess I highlight what's going on this week. So today they're doing a series of sexual abuse prevention workshops for the children in the schools. So today they were at West End Primary. I think they're still there now, actually. They should have been able to join us, but they're at the workshop. Tomorrow they're going to be again at West End Primary doing some more workshops. And then they also go to Creek and Spot Bay Primary on the 23rd, and on the 26th they're back at West End Primary. So again, it's giving children and making them aware about sexual abuse and giving them some information that will help them to avoid any encounters.
So that they teach children what to look out for?
They do.
How to avoid it?
They do. So that's part of us helping children to overcome and to, as Miss Sylvia was talking about, giving them some skills and techniques that they can use to steer them away from certain situations. Cayman Brac also will be having their church service at Cotton Tree Bay on the 25th, that's Sunday coming, at 11 a.m. The SDA, Seventh-day Adventists, normally do fun days for children during the month of May. Grand Cayman was Sunday gone, and Cayman Brac will be Sunday coming at 10 a.m. To 4 p.m. And there will also be a youth scavenger hunt at Fellowship Baptist Church from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on Sunday. So Sunday coming is a very busy day for Cayman Brac. We also have a family games night on Wednesday night at Aston Rotty Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and a teen jam on the 30th, last Friday in May, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Heritage House. So all these events that we do are free. They're open to all children to come out and participate. And of course, parents are welcome, are encouraged, and families are encouraged to come along with their children.
Now, the Protect Our Future workshops, is that
right.
the title of your workshop?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's a very important thing, protecting our future.
Exactly.
what is the schedule? You said you were going district to district. What's the schedule?
So West Bay starts this evening at West Bay Church of Christ, and then for Georgetown we have Seafarers Hall. That's the 21st, and then for Buddentown / Savannah is Savannah United Church, and then East End we're using East End and North Side. We're using East End United Church, so it's the Eastern District rather than just East End or North Side per se. So I'm looking forward to that. I have been to several of the events. I was at the Early Childhood Extravaganza. That was excellent. There was a lot of kids there, a lot of parents there, as well as the SDA Children's Fun Day. So I was hopping from events, hopping from one event to the next. I just never got to the movie nights or the scavenger hunt, and I'm like, but I got to some of those. And the church service, of course, was really good. So there's events for different persons, especially families. So it's very very important for persons to take advantage of that as well. And what it also highlights is the different things that persons can do, similar to the assets. Because, like for example, the sports event that is to take place is a family fun sports fest. It also highlights sports is youth programs that highlight sports is an asset as well. And we have a lot of sports program, but a lot of people need to understand that also helps our young people to be resilient, being involved in those youth programs. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
What's the intergenerational games night?
So intergenerational games night will be held at the Intergenerational Hub. We have partnered with the Youth Services Unit. That's their space that they operate out of. And we will be having games throughout upstairs and downstairs throughout the whole space. It's a 2-story space.
Where's this at?
The Intergenerational Hub is behind Foster's Airport on McLennan Drive. So that big building on the right behind. The Intergenerational Hub, their activities are really targeted at all ages. And so we're having an intergenerational games night along with partnering with them, and it's for all ages. So grandmothers, grandparents, parents, children, youngsters can all come out, and there'll be a host of different games, board games, other types of games that will be done. We will have there, and it'll be lots of fun. So intergenerational, it means that we all come together, we all have fun. It doesn't matter what age you are.
So you're trying to bridge the age gap there.
We're trying to bridge the age gap and also provide opportunities for different ages to come together, to have fun, to just have a good time and spend time with each other. Sometimes we don't do so much of that anymore.
Now, I see that you have a lot of partners involved in this. I mean, a number of agencies are helping you out with this.
Yes. So for Child's Month, we try not to, monopolize the calendar and just have the department do everything. There are a lot of agencies and partners that we have that we work with throughout the year as the Department of Children and Family Services. Again, it's a village, and so we can't do everything. We can't solve all the issues. We can't do all the work, and we have some partners that are very near and dear to us. Lots of partners that are near and dear to us, but there are some that will come forward and will help us out and do different activities during Child's Month. So we have Department of Sports, the Youth Services Unit, Early Childhood and Care and Education Unit, and the Early Childhood Association. We did that lovely event on Sunday, which was Early Childhood Extravaganza. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was very, very well patronized. We had lots of people, lots of children, the young, and these are preschool children, and they did their stuff. They were just amazing. So that was a really good event. We also had New Testament Church of God, Seventh-day Adventists, United Churches. They all come out to help. Sometimes they're allowing us to use their space. Sometimes they're partnering with us to actually do the activities. There is the Cayman Islands Youth Development Consortium, Lighthouse School. We did a cookie decorating contest there. Sir John A. Comber School and their PTA. So we do have lots of partners that help us out in this regard.
The children that come to the activities, what do you hear back from them? I mean, as a response when you have these events for them?
They enjoy it. The movie nights, for example, we have said to people that the children can come dressed in their pajama wear if they so wish, and they can bring a blanket. And so they come and they spread their blankets and they watch the movies. I heard one the other night. He came in and he said when he came in, I think he didn't realize that he needed to bring up, or he could have brought his blanket, and he turned to his mother and goes, "I don't have my blanket." And so we said to him, never mind, you can still go on the floor, find a space and have a good time. So they really do enjoy it. We have 2 movie nights left to come up. One on Friday night in West Bay at the Sir John A. Comber School Hall, and the last one will be on the 31st, which is in East End at the East End Civic Center. Both movie nights start at 7 p.m. Parents are welcome to stay with their children, or they can leave them and come back for them a little later. So yeah, they really do have a wonderful time. All of our events have gotten good feedback.
Did you say we have a call? No? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, and we'll probably have a break, but we'll come back. The work that the department does. I mean, this must be, I would say, so valuable to the community. I mean, in a lot of cases, you are sort of replacing some of that support that used to be there. But today we've got both parents having to work, sometimes more than one job, to make ends meet, and not being able to pay attention to the children as much as they would want to. Do you have to sometimes get into that breach there and fill that gap?
Well, what we try to do is to work with the parents and the children, as if there's a breakdown in the family, whatever issues that they're going through, we try to work with them together, so to help them to come together and to work through what they have been going through. So I'm not saying that we take over that gap, because we don't really want to take over the parents' role. But we try to facilitate so things are better for parents and children to work together.
All right. So things get started tonight, right?
We continue tonight.
Right.
Yes, because we've been doing, we've had a number of events before, so we continue tonight and move forward. We're halfway through the month now, so we have 2 weeks to go, this week and next week.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. Any final words that you want to make sure that you get out there before we leave?
Yes, I actually want to especially push for the Family Fun Sports Fest. That is happening at the Georgetown Annex from 4 to 8 p.m. on Saturday. This is an event for all family members. Again, can bring the grandparents, parents. We need people to cheer. We need people to participate in the activities. There are lots of different activities that are going and events that are going to be happening in there. So it's not your traditional sports events. It's some of them that are tweaked for a fun time. So we'll have an obstacle course race, for example, that is child friendly. We'll have a sports relay that you go to different stations and do different things. So just a lot of fun. And so we're going to encourage everybody to come out on Saturday from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Annex. Let us continue to enjoy all the events that are there for us as families and children to enjoy and participate in, and really enjoy the rest of the Child Month.
Ms. Kellyman and Ms. Wilkes, thank you so much for joining us here on Talk Today.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Have a successful Child Month.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a break, and after the break, we hear about EMS Week. Stay with us.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Attention all residents of East End and surrounding areas. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman PACE Committee invites you to their Health Educational Evening on Wednesday, May 21st at the East End United Church starting at 6:30 p.m. Guest speakers are Dr. David and Dr. Mobeen from Grand Harbor Medical, who will be discussing colon and prostate cancer diagnosis, treatment and prevention, and Dr. Sidney Ebanks, who will speak about hypertension and diabetes. Men, come on out and get your PSA test done for free. Remember, early detection saves lives. Refreshments will be served.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. In our final segment, we are going to learn about EMS Week. And EMS, of course, stands for Emergency Medical Services. And joining me now are David Jace Wilson. He's the Deputy EMS Manager, and also Michael Blackburn to tell us about EMS Week and about being an EMS person, right? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Well,
so I guess it must be a pretty exciting type of job.
It is. It is very much so. Great. Yeah. First, we would like to say good afternoon to the listening audience. And also, we would like to say a huge thank you to our staff members of the Cayman Islands EMS services. Mm-hmm. Without their continued support, without their continued dedication and hard work, many things could not be accomplished. And we would like to also, with this, we cannot forget our brothers and sisters in Cayman Brac as well as in Little Cayman, because we're one big team. So we would just like to say, happy EMS week to all of our EMS personnel. And we just want to thank you all for your continued support and all of your hard work and dedication.
So how many people are in that team? EMS team?
So right now, our entire complement is made up of 57 staff members, and that is across the platform of basic EMTs. We have advanced EMTs, we have paramedics. And we also have a section of our EMS service that provides non-emergency transport. So many of the most vulnerable persons within our community that need to be transported, whether it's to a doctor's visit, physiotherapy, blood works, dialysis, those types of things, they also fall under the EMS services as well. Right. So we have 57 staff members in total.
So it's not always screaming down the road with the siren and the lights going.
No, sir.
Sometimes just picking someone up.
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of those?
Routine stuff. Quite a few, actually. I think the transport team is, on a daily basis, quite busy.
Yes. Yeah. Our non-emergency transport team, they are a solid foundation for the service. They actually originated just during COVID. They fully came into function after COVID, but we quickly realized that there was a huge need for the most vulnerable within the community. So we stood up. Initially, it was one transport unit. Now we actually have two, and they're fielding between 19 and 25 calls per day. Right. Now, for some persons, they're saying, 19 to 25 calls, that's not much. But when you consider these, again, are the most vulnerable within the community, they don't have means of transport, they don't have a way of getting to or from, whether it's the health center of some sort, or maybe a dental visit, physiotherapy visit.
Right. And it's island-wide.
That's island-wide,
you're
correct.
Going East End, you're going to West Bay.
Correct.
Without that service, these people would find it difficult to get to a clinic, or
It would. We work very closely with our public health department and our public health nursing team, as well as our public health doctors. And there are times when our public health team, they're just so inundated with pre-existing patients that they have before. They try their very best to get out to those that are in the community, but sometimes they're just swamped with work that it's not possible all the time. So this is where we help them to now bring some of these persons actually to them, so that we can ensure that they have the appropriate medical care and treatment.
So, Mr. Blackburn, what's your role in the service?
I'm an EMT. I've been an EMT. August this year, God willing, make 10 years. So, emergency medical technician. So, I would say I am the it used to go by EMT basic, emergency medical technician basic, but the basic has been dropped because our role is not just basic. We're in the role of business of saving lives and helping to assist to do so. So it's if you would, first tier on the ladder that is EMS. Yeah. So you have EMT, then an advanced EMT, then a paramedic, and then you can do further within the paramedic field itself.
What made you decide to go into this?
What made me? To begin with, I've always been a person who loves to give back to the community. So, and then of course I like the challenge. I can't keep still. So I like the challenge of every day is something different, like the challenge of getting in and being a critical thinker, but also being a people person and talking with people and helping as best I can. So it's those, the dynamicism of EMS that allows me to just feel fulfilled, frankly. Yeah.
And you would encourage young people to get into this?
100%. 100%. Matter of fact, 1,000%. Yeah, so especially if you are inclined towards helping, especially if you are inclined to no 2 days being exactly alike, if you're inclined to critical thinking and being challenged, and most importantly, inclined to help in the community at large. It's a medical field, so it takes a great deal to
what kind of training did you have to go through?
EMT training, it's a few months of, it's a program that lasts a few months. So
just piggybacking on what Ms. Michael is saying. So as for a basic EMT, the standard program now, because we follow the National Registry of EMTs, so the standard programs now range from between 3 to 6 months. normally the courses that our staff members have taken teeter on the 6-month mark, and that is, basic information as it relates to the pre-hospital field. That's where the area we are, considered to be in the pre-hospital. So just before you get into the hospital itself. And that goes along the lines of anatomy and physiology, needing to know the various different body parts, the various different body systems, knowing them in depth, because there's a saying that we have in our world, and that is EMTs save paramedics and paramedics save lives, so to speak. Just because the EMTs are such a critical part of ensuring that we capture everything from a basic standpoint. Because it really doesn't make sense for us to come in and start administering all these medications and doing all these fancy things if we have not done the basics first, if we have not laid a solid foundation as it relates to the care, the welfare, and the treatment of our patients. So EMT basics have a serious role as it plays to the various different treatments that we can offer our patients.
So when we see an ambulance going down the street with a siren on, who's riding inside that?
Who's right? Well, it depends. So, say, Jace, you yourself are advanced EMT, correct? So, if the call calls for, so we have scopes of practice. Let's put it this way: we have scopes of practice. So, his scope of practice is a higher tier than my own. So, if the person, the patient requires a certain, say, skill to save their life or intervene that isn't in my scope of practice, then Jace will be in the back with the patient. I then would be responsible for the driving, or vice versa. If it's something that is within my scope of practice, then I may be in the back with the patient. It's something I feel comfortable a lot of times. So again, the job is challenging. So sometimes Jace may say to me, "Hey, you comfortable with something like this?" And if I, thankfully our training is robust in that we get all the necessities we need to intervene appropriately. So I could be in the back with a patient that Jace feel comfortable. Say somebody needs, nebulization with certain medication or something like that. That's within my scope of practice. I could be in the back with that patient if it's just oxygen delivery. Perhaps it's some sort of traumatic injury that just requires some Entonox, a tool that we also use, or something in the back. So I may be in the back with the patient, but it all depends on scope of practice that is needed to intervene appropriately.
So what do you have planned for this week?
So EMS Week is a national event that is normally held in the U.S. Once a year, or yearly, should I say, and it normally is held within the month of May. This year, it started on May 18th, and it goes until May the 25th. So throughout this week, we're going to have a few events. This year, it's going to be fairly low-key for us. I know we've had some events during the years where we've had, quite a lot of things. This year, we're just pretty much keeping it situated towards our campus, so to speak. So we are going to have an open house day on Friday, and we would like for any and all persons who may be interested in becoming an EMT or paramedic, or they're just interested in general, please come across to the hospital. We're having an open house day, and that's going to be from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, and it's going to be located by the Hibiscus Conference Room. So for persons who may be familiar with the hospital, it's essentially the area where we have our coffee shop or the canteen. On Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be making some periodic stops at some of the various different supermarkets that we have on island, just to, again, share what we're doing here now, just sharing with the community, just so that they can have a better understanding, a better appreciation of what it actually takes to be an EMT, advanced EMT paramedic, and as well just providing them with some little safety and training as it relates to CPR, first aid, how you can render it if you come across a car accident. How can you better, support that individual that might be in a motor vehicle accident, or if you come across someone going through some type of medical emergency or a medical event, so to speak, how you can help that individual.
So for those that would be interested in getting into this field, what will you introduce them to when they visit?
So it's a variety of different things. We have a few programs out there, as Mr. Michael mentioned before. So the last few courses that we've held, they've actually been here locally. So it's a nationally registered program that we have aligned ourselves with an international school. So it shows that we're actually meeting the benchmark and we're actually exceeding the benchmark because we have aligned ourselves with an international school in the US. And in doing so, you would do a lot of your clinical studies here. However, you will have to travel off island just so that, again, you can be checked off, so to speak, by an international assessor, just to show, hey, these guys have actually done the training and they have met all the standards to show that, hey, yes, everything was done above board and to the appropriate standard. So we have local classes that we do here, but they're also a bit of a hybrid because persons will have to do some online classes as well. In addition to those online classes, they will have to travel overseas to partake in some additional clinical studies overseas.
Right now we have to take a break, but stay with us. We'll hear more from the EMS.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo Footlong Cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points. Or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo Footlong Cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Cayman Art Week is back from Tuesday the 20th to Sunday the 25th of May. It's a fun-filled program of art events, pop-up exhibitions, open studios, and late opening hours at galleries and venues across all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit at your own pace or join one of our district bus tours with a new route added this year in Cayman Brac. All events are free and open to the public with art on sale for every budget. For all the latest, visit CaymanArtWeek.com.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today, and we're hearing about our EMS service, the Emergency Medical Service, and they're observing EMS Week this week. And here in the studio with me are David Jace Wilson, he's the Deputy EMS Manager, and EMT Michael Blackburn. Now, is there such a thing as a typical day for you?
No, sir. Not wildlife shift. No typical day. Like you're saying, I guess the only typical day is that there is no typical day. Every day is a difference. We come in. I guess the things we try to meet though when we come in is obviously with emergency service. So as I clock on at 7 o'clock, we try to get to work at 15 minutes prior, so we can check our truck, make sure all the equipment is in order. Anything that needs doing, prepping for emergency calls, we do all of that beforehand when we can. Sometimes I might come in and don't get a chance. I might come in and the night crew might go, here you go, give me the radio and hand over and say, hey, this is what we did last night, this is of note, etc., and we off to an emergency call. So it all depends what kind of day the public is having, which will determine what kind of day we're having. No 2 days are the same, certainly. Moreover, it's shift work, so it's 7 to 7. Typically, that's 2 days, then 2 nights, and again, no 2 nights are the same. So all depends on what kind of what's happening out in the public, who needs our intervention. So,
do things seem to happen more in the nights than in the days?
It all depends. It really all depends. Again, this is unpredictable, absolutely unpredictable. So you have to be flexible, you have to be available, you have to be able to come in and do the job be ready to do the job immediately. So it's really unpredictable. So some days you may have 1, 2, maybe 3 calls, and that's it throughout the day. That's our 12-hour span. Some nights we may have 8, 10, 11 calls. Back to back. We're moving, constantly going. No chance to get it to a bit to slow down. So it's all very unpredictable.
Do you believe in the full moon thing?
Oh, geez. No, we say it. We say it if it's a full moon or if it's payday. Even worse if it's a full moon on payday. So yeah, it's one of those little taboos we say. We don't say anything too tight too loud on a full moon, and definitely don't say anything about having a quiet night or a quiet day.
Yeah. That just jinxes everything right there.
Everything.
You go get the opposite.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I noticed one thing there. It's not about getting to work on time. You get to work before time.
Before time. We want to give people a chance to not get caught up in the 7 a.m. storm, but more importantly, we want to get a chance to communicate with one another, the day crew with the night crew coming in and doing a shift handover. So things I might hand over if I'm coming on relieving Jace in the morning, he'll tell me what kind of, if they used anything out of the truck, what we need paying attention to. If all the medications are good. I myself will go through and check all of these things, but he'll still relate, hey, we used some morphine on this one trauma patient, etc. He may say, hey, didn't get a chance to sweep out because we had a muddy call, but then after that immediately we had another call, so no worries, I got you. We go in and we clean up, we prep the truck. It's our office, so we clean our office, prep it, make sure everything is ready for everybody. We're going to be handling out in the public. A shift handover. He'll tell me how many calls he had for the night as well. I'll be looking out for if he had a particular call that a patient may then need to be, say, transported back home. We'll organize for that to happen. Or say they had a patient who had that was admitted to CCU, for example. Then I might, think about it and go, okay, perhaps that patient will then need a transport later on today to another facility, to another medical facility. Say like we had, say if Jace goes on work one night and he has a person with a cardiac event, brings them into HSA, then they'll get assessed there. Treatment will happen, etc. I come on, let's say that happened at about 6:45. I come in, he hands over to me and says, hey, there's this patient we just had. There was a critical cardiac patient or some nature thereof. And then I'll go, okay, cool. Then I know I got to prep my mind to quickly check my truck and then prepare for perhaps a transport up to our cardiac facility or health service cardiac facility in East End. So things of that nature.
Now, you're in management. When a person comes in and they would like to do this job, what are the qualities that you're looking for in this person?
So some of the qualities we're looking for, one, the individual has to be extremely flexible. As Mr. Michael mentioned to you before, this job is very dynamic. No 2 days are the same. So we're looking for someone who is very flexible. We're looking for persons who like to give back to the community. And these days, that is kind of a key point for us, just because we are asking a lot of you. And the persons of our community is asking a lot of you. We are depended to take the utmost care of someone when they're in their time of need. So we need to ensure that persons are definitely flexible and that they
caring person.
Caring person,
absolutely.
Correct, absolutely. Additionally to that, from a curriculum standpoint, whenever persons reach out to us, let's say, for instance, they might be in middle school or even they might be in high school, we'll say to them, believe it or not, you need to have excellent marks in math, in English, and in science, because those are the 3 core subjects for EMS. So we have something such as medication math. Again, we need to know the accurate amount of medication that we need to give someone. So therefore, you need to be able to utilize math very efficiently, very well. English, we have statements that we have to write, medical reports that we have to write, and there are times that some of these medical reports may even reach as far as, say, for instance, Grand Court, if there is a significant call or a significant case. So persons need to know how to utilize the English vocabulary, very well. And then additional to that, as I mentioned, is our sciences. We need to have persons who are very interested in sciences. Following that, again, as we said, once they're caring, once they have that flexibility, we would then encourage them to come on a few ride-along programs. Just because it is different from someone on the exterior actually looking in to see, hey, this is what they do on a regular basis. However, if they actually come in and they under strict rules and regulations, obviously with patient confidentiality and such, we provide them the opportunity to actually be a part of our ride-along program. So they get to actually work, so to speak, side by side with our clinical staff members, and they get to firsthand experience, okay, is this something that I truly want to do? Or, you know what, I was looking at it from the outside. I was looking at it because, there was lots of lights and sirens and action. But you know what? This is not for me. And that is totally fine.
But that really bad car crash.
Correct.
Maybe that changes your mind.
Correct. Absolutely. And that has happened before. And again, to those individuals, we say, you know what? Thank you very much for putting yourself out there. We still thank them very much for putting themselves out there. But there are many times persons actually see it firsthand and they say, you know what, actually this isn't for me. However, we still encourage any and all persons to apply. And then, as I said, once we go through that various checklist process, we'll have you come out on a ride-along program with us, and then we'll see where it leads you. And again, we have our manager, Mr. Stephen Duval, Mr. Duval, along with myself and other senior staff members. We'll take you under our wing, and definitely we will guide you down the correct pathway as to, maybe which university you would like to attend to, or which course you would like to do. If we're holding a local course here, we'll say, all right, this is the course we think you should do, but definitely we will mentor and guide individuals appropriately.
How long does it take to get to, what's the highest level?
The paramedic level?
Yeah.
So that all depends.
Yeah.
They have a paramedic curriculum that literally just allows you to be that of a paramedic, and by no means is that an easy process. That is
You're
very
getting
hard.
deep into the medical and sciences.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very, very deep into it. However, they have some programs as well that are degree programs, which would like to gear and steer persons into maybe a management role. You might want to do more R&D, maybe more research and development for the pre-hospital field. You may want to be one of our critical care paramedics, so to speak. Mr. Michael spoke about their additional levels and additional tiers to being a paramedic. And what we mean by a critical care paramedic, those paramedic individuals who are actually in the helicopter, they're doing medical evacuations, they're doing medical transfers. That's a different level of medicine that staff members must know, and that's just because we have different changes in pressures in the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. So that's an additional level of training that those persons would have to go through. So there are a variety of different things that staff members or persons that are interested would have to go through to achieve the varying different levels of EMS training.
Okay, we're going to pause here because it's news time coming right up on 2 o'clock. Let's see what's happening, but more EMS coming up.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him
Praise Time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my baby. Rock my soul in the blues of my baby.
Praise Time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise Time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
Good afternoon with a look at your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks. Closing arguments are set to take place today in the trial of senior prison officer Darren Watson, who denies charges related to smuggling drugs into the HMP Northwood facility. Watson admits to bringing the drugs in but states he was coerced under threat by a man with a gun who confronted him at his home in Bordentown. He claims the individual possessed private details about him and his family, making the threat credible. The jury of 7 has heard testimony, including from a witness who stated that they saw Watson under duress and confirmed seeing an armed man in his yard. The trial continues today and could reach a verdict before the end of the week. In regional news, Antigua authorities have identified the body of a man floating in the Maramba Bay 3 days ago as a 40-year-old Louisiana national who was scheduled to leave the island on the 9th of May. Police have withheld the man's name pending notification of his family. An investigation has been launched and post-mortem examinations are set to determine the exact cause of death. Officials urge anyone with relevant information to come forward. Anonymous tips can be provided to the Crime Stoppers hotline, with assurances that all information will remain confidential. Nurses across Jamaica protested on Monday, demanding an end to violence against women and children following an attack on a nurse during a road rage incident last week. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton condemned the attack, stressing the need for respect and promotion for healthcare workers. The police has confirmed that a man is assisting with the investigation. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're hearing about the great work that our EMS service does here in Cayman. In the studio with me is David Jace Wilson, Deputy EMS Manager, and EMT Michael Blackburn. Technology has, affected everything that we do. How has it affected your service?
The technology is always evolving, as we say, especially in medicine. We know it evolves in many other sectors, especially the computer or the IT sector, but even more so for us in medicine, and in particular for us in EMS. Now, I've only been in EMS now 19 and a half years. And we have other persons in the department who's been there, far longer than I have. And they have seen such a huge change in technology. And I'll give you an example. Before, the cardiac monitors that we had were only able to tell us certain snippets or certain small pieces of information as it relates to your heart if you were having some level or some type of cardiac event. Now, as an example, our organization truly wants us to have the latest and greatest technology, the latest and greatest tools out there. So we have purchased Zoll cardiac monitors, and these Zoll cardiac monitors are the best on the market, so to speak. These monitors are able to tell us essentially if something is happening with the heart, and I'm just using that as an example, specifically which part of the heart is actually currently being affected, what is happening, so that it allows us to inform our online medical control, which is going to be the doctors, the physicians in our emergency department, so that we are now painting a picture for them so that we can actually provide the best clinical care and treatment for patients out in the field who might be having, and then as an example, just a cardiac event in the field. So we have come a long way, a very, very long way. And we're very proud to say that, our organization has invested tremendously into the national EMS service that we have here.
So you're communicating that back to the hospital?
Correct. We're communicating that back to the hospital, and I'll give you an example.
They're taking instructions as to...
Correct, as to potentially what levels of treatment, what levels of care that we can do. Even though we have a standard operating procedure already, we're always in tune and in communication with our medical control. Now, in regards to technology, before that would have been, via a radio transmission or maybe even via a cell phone. The cardiac monitors that we have now, they have a built-in GPS system, a built-in LTE system, where I can literally take a picture of what's on the screen through the monitor, and we can email it directly to the physician. So the physician can actually see what I am seeing on the monitor, and they're able to assist in real time.
That must help tremendously.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. And that's what we refer to as telemedicine at times, because it really does help. We utilize telemedicine in some of the other islands as well. So in Cayman we utilize telemedicine for that. If someone over there is having a cardiac event, they would actually call in directly to our cardiologist that we have at HSA, and they'll be able to guide them accordingly. Similarly, in Little Cayman, where our nursing staff assist us by manning the ambulance over there, when they have any issues or they have any concerns, they can quickly turn on a camera and it's there. The doctors that are in Cayman or even here, if we have to reach out and provide additional support to them, they can give them information and instructions and guidance in real time right there when we're all on the same channel, so to speak, viewing this person.
Well, we do have a caller on WhatsApp, and hopefully we've worked that out because we were having some problems, but let's see. Let's take that call on our WhatsApp. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Yes, good afternoon. You have a question for EMTs here?
Yes, good afternoon to EMT Talk. Special good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, calling from England right now.
Okay.
So, so it's night time up here now. The sun not set yet, but it's after 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, it's good to see 2 young men as yourselves who are Caymanians doing the type of work that you all are doing, helping to save people's lives. And I know the young man, Wilson, know him for quite a while now, especially when he was going to Wesleyan Christian Academy.
Let's go and be back.
You really deserve being the manager in that department. I find you to be a very caring young man from a long time ago.
Thank you, sir.
And your parents raised you well. So I'm glad to see you holding that position and the young man you're working with. I can hear that you all get along very well.
Yeah.
And that's good to know. And I'm hoping that you all will give other young Caymanians, young ladies and young men, the same opportunity that you all received, that they also are able to help save people's lives and do something in their life that they will enjoy doing as you all are doing so. Because we don't want our young ladies or young men, especially our young men today in Cayman, we don't want them to feel rejected trying to do something that is good in society as what you all are doing. So I hope you all will give them the opportunity and give them the attention that they need in order to get the training that they need to become who you all are today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks for the call.
Thank you, caller. Yep, and just to echo, what the caller spoke about, that's what it's about. I know Mr. Michael spoke about that earlier, but that's what it's about. We're here to encourage, support, nurture the young Caymanians, the next generation coming up, because right now, I just mentioned it, 19 and a half years. And while we have staff members that have, far more years than I do, persons are saying, Jace, you one of the seniors, you're one of the senior staff members there. And I find that to be very humbling, but I take it very serious because, we are charged with ensuring that we pay it forward. We pay it forward. We bring the next generation up and we support them, we nurture them so that we can just pass that baton along to that next generation, as caller said, to just continue to do what it is that we're doing now, and that's providing the best possible pre-hospital care to the people of our islands.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll hear about the emergency medical services operations during a hurricane. Stay with us.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. We continue our conversation now about our EMS services that come out of the HSA. What's the role of EMS during a hurricane?
That's a good question, Mr. Glidden. So, for hurricane season, and this is something that we would like to just encourage persons within the community. We know it just seems like, we just, finished up hurricane season, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And then yet again, we're less than 3 weeks away, from hurricane season again. As we know, it starts June 1st and it goes to November the 30th. So for us, it actually starts, at the beginning of the year. This is where we start our internal processes. Speaking now from the Health Services Authority, we're communicating across different managers, across different areas. From an EMS point of view specifically, we work hand in hand with public health. There are a variety of things that we do before a storm, not so much during a storm, and we'll speak about maybe what that means, and then definitely after a storm. So pre any type of event happening here, this is where we would utilize our ambulances and our non-emergency teams to actually transport persons, if persons need to be transported from their most vulnerable setting into maybe a shelter, or maybe to another family member's home or residence, or an identified place of safety for them. We don't just take that on ourselves. We have to say a huge vote of thanks to the Sunrise Adult Learning Center and the directorship there, because for the past few years, they have been fantastic in assisting us as it relates to relocation of persons. So those are things that we would do ahead of time, ensuring that persons are transported, pre any type of event happening here. Now, if we are to be impacted, say for an example, by maybe tropical storm force winds or upwards, category 1, 2, 3, you name it, during the onset of category or tropical storm force winds, emergency services, so it's not just EMS, it's police, fire, EMS, as well as the regiment, we are going to cease all operations because our staff members have to be safe. So we can't have staff members responding out there when we have limbs and branches and things just whizzing about. So we have to be very careful.
The roads might be blocked too.
Correct. Yeah. And the roads could be impassable. So we have to be careful there. So when we reach tropical storm force winds, all emergency response will cease to respond out to the community. So this is why, and we'll ask for you to pay attention to Be Prepared or Cayman Prepared, which is on the Hazard Management website. They will give you a breakdown of things you should do before an impact of a storm itself. Because during a storm, we're not going to be able to come to help you. We want to, and if there are emergency calls that are pending, they will be put into a call queue, and we will respond to them after the storm, after the all clear has been given, in order of priority. So that's something that we want for the public to understand. As much as we want to come out there, we have to be safe as well. Because if we're injured, we're not going to be of any, help to yourself if they're injured, or if they're experiencing something. After the storm, similarly to what we've done pre-storm, if your home, if your residence is safe, if it is habitable, we can then transport you back there. If not, again, we might have to transport you to a location or a facility where you can stay and where you can be safe. So that's just a small snippet of some of the actions that we have to take pre, during, and post any type of storm event here in Cayman.
So if we're under threat, we're going to get hit. Do you call in all your personnel? Everybody reports to the hospital and stands by?
Correct. So we don't necessarily call in everyone. So we have teams. So normally if we're going to be impacted by a storm, and again, we weigh this based on the type of storm itself. Obviously, if this is maybe category 1, category 2, and we know that's what it's going to be, we may bring in 1 or 2 extra crews just to help buffer with that manpower and that support. We don't even like to talk about it as Mr. Michael said, right? We don't want to jinx anything, but God forbid we have something that is significant, category 4, category 5. It is literally all hands on deck because we're going to need as much support as we possibly can. So that way, rather than just bringing in 1 or 2 teams, we might have to bring in an extra 6 teams or extra 7 teams just to make sure that we field all of our ambulances and that we actually have resilience, because again, staff members, they're going to become tired, they're going to become fatigued, and they themselves need to ensure that after an event they will need to go home, ensure that their property is secure, their family members are good before they come back to work as well. So it will be an all hands on deck approach for that.
Any advice for people who may be chronically sick, or you have an elderly person in your home that's on medication and such? How should they go about preparing for a hurricane?
So one of the things, especially from an HSA perspective, we normally say to individuals, as an example, if you are a person that takes medications for whatever medical condition you might have, please make contact with your general practice provider or your physician that you have and work out a plan with them. The normal process is, example, if you are taking medications, the pharmacy at the beginning of hurricane season will prescribe individuals an extra 2 weeks of your medications, so that if we were to be impacted by some type of event, you would actually have enough medication afterwards, so that you can make it through until you come back to the hospital itself. For persons who might be on dialysis, again, you will be dialyzed pre-storm. If you, depending on your medical condition itself, you might have to be housed in-house, but that is not the standard. Again, that's all dependent on your medical condition itself. But majority of our dialysis patients are dialyzed before a storm, and as soon as practical after the storm, our dialysis unit will open back its doors, it will stand up again, and then our dialysis persons actually takes precedence as it relates to being transported back into the facility, just so that they can continue on with their medical treatment. So just as an example, those are two of the things that the hospital really wants to get out there to the community itself.
These days, do you have any trouble finding a residence? I mean,
resident for a person to go to, you mean?
Yeah, if you get a call to especially like a home.
Dispatch.
When we on dispatch, you're talking about?
I do the number. Are people displaying their number, house numbers?
Yeah. So thankfully we have GPS in our trucks. So the majority of homes we'll find, but you do have instances where people don't have their homes numbered appropriately. Sometimes the streets get a little confusing as well, the way they're set up. So we always encourage, especially during hurricane season, encourage people to make sure your homes are numbered appropriately. There's a sign outside that is legible from even like the driveway or a distance away that Correct. We can read and get access to. So yeah, there's still some residents are that way, but thankfully most persons in most areas are able to be found.
What would you say to people about the proper way to handle an emergency when they call 911?
Well, yeah. So the proper way. I mean, so first off, I would say, praise to the dispatch team. So there's 911 dispatch. They do a good job of ensuring all necessary information is captured. I've had the experience recently of having to call 911. I was on my way to work and witnessed a motor vehicle crash, and I had to hop out, pull my car over, hop out and call 911. And again, they do a good job of asking the appropriate questions. So first thing they'll ask you is, where is your emergency? Just in case anything gets cut off, they'll ask you where you are. So if you can take note of your exact location, and if not, if you're unable to find the exact location, find some sort of landmark that you can relay to them. And then they'll ask you subsequent questions, what your emergency is. So you'll do, you can do a quick checklist. Say if it is a motor vehicle crash that you come upon, you say, hey, somebody just crashed their vehicle. This is what I see from you. Of course, you want to keep safe. If anything is smoking or on fire, you don't want to go near the vehicle. But the 911 dispatchers are going to walk you through by asking questions to lead you to the appropriate information. So thankfully, they do a great job of doing that. Just really and truly, really just listen to the questions they're asking you and be as cooperative as you can. I know sometimes, like the last time I said, that MVA came up on, you're trying to get them as an EMT, I'm trying to get them to a certain point, but, thankfully they know their business. And if you answer their questions appropriately, you'll get there and they'll have enough information to dispatch.
They're going through their checklist.
Yes,
correct.
They're going through their checklist, yes, sir. So
sometimes you're the driver.
Yes.
In an ambulance that's going on a call.
Yes, sir.
I remember back in the day, people kind of just ignored the siren.
Oh, jeez.
What's it like today?
It's still unfortunate. So for the most part, people are aware and cooperative for the most part. However, some vehicles have some fancy sound shielding now. So you could be behind certain people driving, and they probably got music playing as well. So so you still have some instances. Thankfully, we are trained in such a way to be road aware, to use our sirens appropriately, to use our lights appropriately, and we just encourage the public to also be aware. Use your rear view mirrors, check periodically, and if you find yourself, if you're in, if an ambulance or an emergency vehicle is coming behind you, preferably, especially if you can, pull to the left. So pull off to the left-hand side, yes sir, where the shoulder is, in a safe manner, and then come to a stop.
Now, what about like Linford Pearson?
So you got two lanes. If I'm driving, I'm going to attempt to stay in that right lane to give persons that leeway to pull off to the left. Right? That's what we're trained to do once we're driving an ambulance to an emergency. I'm going to, first off, you have at least three sounds in an ambulance. I'm going to, as I see the cars in the distance, I'm going to use my sirens to, I don't know what it's called.
For long distance?
For long distance call. Yeah, there we go. So, and as I get more and more closer, I'm going to switch the mode of the sirens to do a little shorter distance.
Shorter distances.
So you have at least, a long distance one, a medium range one, and then a shorter distance
very, very
one.
short.
Very
short
short
ones. Horn too.
And then we got a horn.
Now, you ever have to just lean on that and say, get out of my way?
Sometimes we do, yeah. Sometimes we do. Because, you say coming up to a roundabout, for example, and if we have to give way to our right? So if I'm coming up to a roundabout, in the distance, I'm using my long distance. As I get closer to traffic, to the end of to the beginning of the roundabout, I'm using medium to my short range. And when I get to my short range, I'm still going to come to either a stop, right? Or at least I'm going to slow down enough that I can appropriately see if any traffic is coming on the roundabout. If anybody's coming, my aim is to stop so that they realize that we're coming through, lights and sirens. And hopefully that person then can
yield or give way.
Or give way. Or if you find an ambulance, if you're in the middle of your turn on the roundabout and you find an ambulance directly behind you, one thing you can do, and a lot of people tend to forget seemingly, is you can go, it's a roundabout, so you can go around. Go around and come right back. It only takes a few seconds. Sometimes you have some people who stop because their first instinct is to just, emergency vehicle, brakes, let me pull off immediately. But sometimes that may be a hindrance. So if you find yourself on a roundabout, go all the way around if necessary. If you find yourself where you want a right lane and an emergency vehicle is coming, take your time and pull off to the left and park or stop on the shoulder. Obviously, sometimes traffic may not allow you to do either of those things. Come to a stop. At the very least, you can come to a stop and make way as you can. We, as drivers, then will adjust us appropriately to get where we're going.
Correct.
Okay, we've got about 2 minutes left. What's in the future for Cayman's EMS department?
So, I would just like to say a huge thank you to Radio Cayman. Thank you very much, Mr. Glidden, for allowing us on and for us to be able to share in regards to EMS Week and the various different activities that we have for this week. For our future plans that we have for the department, we just want to continue to grow and expand the Cayman Islands EMS service. We are by no means finished. We have a multitude of things that we would like to accomplish. In accordance with the Deputy Governor's instructions, we would like for the Cayman Islands EMS service to be the best possible EMS service in the Caribbean. And it's not being, boastful in any way, shape, or form, but we can assure the listening public, the viewing public, that your EMS service, the Cayman Islands EMS service, is happily on its way to doing that. We have staff members that are trained to the appropriate standard, and staff members exceed the appropriate standard. We have, as we spoke about, the latest and greatest technology. We have the best gear that the country has, that the standard has, that our country has invested in, and that we are continually procuring new items, looking for newer training so that we can keep up to that in becoming the best EMS service for our region, for the Caribbean. So we have a lot planned, and we're just slowly chipping away at it, and we will get there.
And if someone is interested in joining you, they can just go to the HSA website and
Yes, sir.
look for careers there.
Correct. If anyone that's out there listening or viewing who may have someone or who they themselves are interested, it's going to be www.hsa.ky. That is a general email that is manned by both our PR and our HR team. And when you submit your email, they will ensure that it gets to the appropriate department. So we encourage you to send those emails through. Again, that's www.hsa.ky. Send through, say, hey, you're interested in becoming an EMT or paramedic, or you have a loved one that is interested, and it will get to us, and our management team will respond, and we will ensure that we take excellent care of you.
Mr. Wilson, Mr. Blackburn, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Very, very informative afternoon here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got some real insight into what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's it for Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. Have a great afternoon.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway. 4 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
You are listening